Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 5 Business Rules. I am Monica Jansen, head kick-ass copywriter and strategist at Jansen Communications.
And I'm Nicole Krug, founder and digital strategist at Socialite.
So we're going to talk about something interesting, and I think it's fun. 5 top sources of marketing tips online. Here's the thing. Every marketing platform out there wants you to be successful using their tools so you'll remain as a customer, whether you're free or whether you're paid. So tap into their expertise. It's like out there for the taking.
Okay, so I'm curious, like there's so many ways that we could go this. Let's give me an example.
Okay, so MailChimp. All right, MailChimp,
Okay.
you and I both use it for email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
They have tons of marketing tips under their resources section, from basic how-to articles to articles focused on specific features,
Okay.
or ones based on data, like using how long to run an A/B test for an email campaign. It's fantastic. I learn stuff about email marketing from MailChimp.
So it's interesting because what you're saying is a lot of us think, okay, we have to follow an influencer. We'd love if you follow us and get our advice, but what you're saying is that there's all these platforms that are already out there, and they have advice and tips that you don't necessarily look for. Like, you are going to use MailChimp, but you don't necessarily look at their advice. And I think, and especially like the data is really an interesting one, because you can say, what should open rates be, and kind of benchmark yourself. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. So so if you're an e-commerce business and you use Shopify, their blog is full of business ideas, just business ideas, which I think is really cool. How to start and run a business, great for newbies. Success stories, which I always love reading success stories.
It's actually like it makes sense, because we think about, like, we talk all the time about how you need a blog to be out there and all these, and these big platforms, like, they have to do the same thing to be the big platforms, but we don't always take the advice. So and Shopify, I think it's a great starter site for people trying to get e-commerce going in an easy way. So that's awesome that they have extra tips.
Yeah, and like SquareSpace. Okay, so here's another kind of DIY build it yourself platform. And their blog, they've got how-to articles. I really like their on trend category, because it's filled with a lot of timely information, like how to use your website to give back, and how to maintain mindfulness when it feels like the world is falling apart. So a little bit more like viewing the business owner as like a whole person, not just, running a business, but part of the community.
That's cool. And and if they can give you tips too, because I think sometimes, a lot of times, we talk about websites being out of date, and we think of it as like, it looks like it's from 1990, right? But I think that's also relevant, that we're all dealing with a crazy time, be it pandemic or politics or Black Lives Matter or what have you, and you don't want to be tone deaf to what's going on around you. So that's really interesting that they give you tips kind of above and beyond the basics.
I know. I love it. Let me tell you, I'm impressed with all the stuff that I find on some of these platforms. Very, very thoughtful, great content. So like LinkedIn. So let's talk about social media marketing for a bit. LinkedIn has a very well hidden blog. It is hard to find. It does exist. And when you find it, huge variety of articles on great topics, like how to make good decisions in high stress situations.
And that's interesting, because sometimes I think if you search for LinkedIn, like, it comes up with all the articles people publish on that. So that's actually kind of fascinating that they have their own, but they hide it too. That's kind of funny.
Why aren't they pushing this stuff into everyone's feeds? I mean, they control. Anyway, there's a lot about LinkedIn that is very confusing and doesn't make sense, and this is one of them. So like Instagram and Facebook both have specific sections for business owners. Instagram for business, Facebook for business. So on Instagram, they've got tips and success stories. Again, I love a success story. tucked into their Instagram for business sites. So just really full of great inspiration.
So I think it's nice because what you've kind of come through is you get the how-tos, right? Which is this, but it sounds like they're also doing a good job of the why, right? Because and so like we've talked about one of the videos we talked about recently, we had the idea of lookalike audiences, and we kind of give an overview, but maybe you want to dig in more, and it's great that these platforms have both the how and the why on that. That's cool.
Yeah. So definitely look at all the marketing tools and platforms that you're using to run your business. Look for their blogs, look for the resources section, and really, subscribe if you can. Tap into their expertise though, and it'll definitely help your marketing.
Awesome tips.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If this was useful, please like, comment, share, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.